Hello, class. I want to go ahead and talk with you about amortization tables and go through how to set this up in Excel to work our way through because there's a lot of parts here and the parts work with each other. So Excel allows us to use that cell reference, which makes it a little easier as you're setting it up. So you can see how I've sort of have a little template that I've modified to make look like what we need. So we're dealing with a purchase of a minivan. So I guess this could be just loan. It's not a mortgage since we're dealing with a purchase of a minivan and not a house. So we have our loan. We have T for years, N for the how many times the payments happen, our rate, and the payment that we're told is given. So this is sort of the given information. And then down here, we have the payment number, we have the interest payment, principal payment, and new loan balance. Okay, so I've just sort of set up the Excel to work with our parts. So I would suggest doing that. You can always pause and get your Excel set up so you're ready to follow along as we go through this one. Okay, so we're purchasing a minivan. Felipe is taking out $26,000. So that's the loan amount. So let's go ahead and put that into our loan amount. And it's for 6 years. So we have 6 years. And the monthly payments tell me the N is 12 and the rate is 5.2%. And our payment is $421.14. Okay. Make sure your rate has a percentage on it. Okay. So if you just have 5.2 or 5.20 right now, go up and include that percentage behind it. That makes a big difference as we're starting to work through these calculations. Okay, so these are the parts that we're working with. Now let's see what we're asked to calculate. So payments, we're working with the first payment, second payment, then it skips down. I'm not going to leave a gap there. I'm just going to write 25th payment and 26th payment. None of the top information is known. The only thing we're given is the new balance in month 2. So that's $25,381.72. And we're given the 25th payment information. So let's write that in, $78.93. And we have $342.21 and $17,873.52. Okay, and so I'm going to just double check that I have everything typed in correctly. Okay, so I have all the given information. The rest of it we're going to calculate. So let's talk about setting up an amortization table. So this is just a table that shows how your payment is broken up. So when you make a payment to a loan, a portion of it is interest that the bank keeps, and then a portion of it is the actual payment that reduces the loan amount. So we have a payment of $421.14 each month, but not all of that is going to get removed from the loan amount of $26,000. So let's go ahead and set that up and break apart that payment to see exactly what's happening. Okay, so in the first month, we have an interest payment. So the interest payment is going to be based off of the current loan amount. So in the first month, the loan amount is the original, the $26,000. We haven't made any payments yet. And we're going to multiply this by the rate divided by 12. Because we're just doing the interest for that month. So you want to make sure that you've taken your annual interest rate of 5.20% and divided by 12 to get it to the monthly interest. Okay. So the bank is going to keep $112.67 from the payment we're making. So that $112.67 doesn't get removed from the loan amount. That's just money they take and say, thank you for having a loan with me. And that's how the banks make money. So if we want to figure out how much is actually going onto the principal, we're going to take equals the payment amount, which is the $421.14 we sent them, minus the interest that they're keeping. Okay, so the payment on the principal is only the portion of the overall monthly payment that doesn't have the interest in it. So $112.67 the bank keeps, $308.47 gets removed from our loan amount. So that's the payment here. So our new loan balance is the starting balance minus the principal payment. So we're not subtracting the total payment of $421.14 because a part of that is the interest. Okay. So our end balance after our first payment is $25,691.53. Okay. So we move on to the next month. And again, we're calculating the interest. Now the new balance, though, is not the 26,000, it's that balance from last month. Still times the rate divided by 12. So it's still the same interest rate being applied, but look what happens to the amount of interest the bank gets to keep. So as your balance decreases, so does the amount of interest that they're keeping. Principal payment is the same setup. We're taking the total payment and then removing the interest that the bank is keeping from that payment. And that gives us our new principal payment. So notice how they're collecting a little less interest and more money is going on to the principal. And we're given the end balance here. We could go ahead and check to make sure that that's accurate, to make sure we're on the right path. That's just a way to check. So we would take the end balance from last month minus the payment we made. And we can check to see that those two are the same. So we should feel pretty confident that our first calculations are correct. Okay. Let's move on. And now it jumps down to month 25 or payment 25 to show you what's happening, what's a little different. So now notice in the 25th payment, look at how low the interest has gotten. And look at your actual payment on the principal, how it's increased. So as you get your balance lower on your loan, they're collecting less interest from you and your principal is going up. Okay. So that gets to that idea that, the faster you can decrease this balance, the less interest you'll pay, and then your payments go up. So if you can make extra payments on top of this, that helps even more. But let's focus on this one for now. So in the 26th, again, we're going to take, just to find the interest, we're going to take the balance from the previous month times the rate divided by 12. Okay, still the same process. We're just moved down further into the payoff. And again, notice that your interest rate is still, or your interest paid is still dropping. The principal payment is the same. The total payment minus any interest the bank is keeping. And then your new balance is going to be the previous month's balance minus the principal payment that you made. Okay. So working with amortization table, just so you can see what's happening as you go through the process. of working through decreasing the balance. Let's go ahead and fill in our parts now and get it checked. So just be careful as you type your values over that we don't have a typo. 691.53. Okay. And we can go ahead and put commas in here since they have commas. It's good. Good thing to follow the formatting that Alex is using. So $112.67, 308.47, 25, 691.53. Those look good. That looks good. 309.81. It's something with this many parts. It's good to double check, triple check everything before you hit the final check. All right. There we go. So that's just going through an amortization table. Again, good idea to throw it in Excel, keep everything nice and organized. You can use cell reference and work your way through. All right, I hope that was helpful for you and have a good day.